everybody. Welcome to Scandal Chat. We are so excited to be here with you guys, and we're going to be talking about all things Scandal tonight, which means, of course, we have lots to talk about in the next hour. Joining me today, we have a few other people that may be popping in, a few other special guests. But right now, I have got Courtney with me. Courtney, give him a wave.
Hi.
Woohoo! And I've got Jaren.
Hi.
And, of course, my name is Poppy. And, you guys, if you have questions about Jaren and Courtney, they both have fantastic YouTube channels and Twitters. You can find their information down in the description box below. So, we're going to talk Scandal, you guys. If you have questions, you can pop them. I do believe there's a little chat feature on YouTube where you can pop your questions down below or your comments, and we'll shout you out if you say something that we think is interesting. There you go. So you guys, this is the first Scandal Chat we've done starting in season 3. So what have you guys thought about season 3 so far? I know a lot of people have been kind of complaining that, you know, Scandal has jumped the shark, blah blah blah. So I want to hear what you guys think about that. Jaren, what about you?
I don't know. I feel like it goes by so quickly that you dealing with the outing of Olivia happened so quickly. You were just kind of like, well, and then they just move on, and you're like, but wait, I still would like to talk about this situation right here. So I think it just moves really quickly. So sometimes you just are like, why? What's going? It doesn't make sense sometimes in my brain until later, and then you're like, oh, that makes sense. But it didn't make sense while I was sitting here watching this. So I think it's just, I mean, I like it, but at the same time, sometimes it's just I feel lost sometimes when I watch it.
Yeah. What about you, Courtney?
You know, I feel like I have so many things being thrown at me that I don't understand. I feel like Jaren, where I'm just kind of lost. We jumped right into Mama Pope and her issues, and I'm trying to figure out where that's going. Then we have Quinn and her issues, and I'm trying to figure out where that's going.
Oh my God.
I feel like we have a whole bunch of storylines that maybe haven't meshed yet. So I just don't know what to think about anything.
Yeah.
I feel like they're giving us all of the plot lines at once. Yeah.
Yeah.
But they're I feel like they're giving all the plot lines.
I keep wondering if they're going to... What were you say, Jaren?
Oh, I just feel like they're giving us all the plot lines at once, and it'll make sense later. But right now, it's just kind of there's so much going on.
Yeah,
what were you saying,
I was
Poppy?
wondering that too, because there's only 8 more episodes left this season, so which is kind of. I know that's because Ray Washington's gonna have a baby. Everybody, welcome to Scandal Chat. But, excited to be here with you guys, and we're going to be talking about
what's going on?
Is somebody? Oh, I was like, wait, I hear myself.
Going on?
No, but there's only 8 more episodes left this season, so it's kind of I'm expecting that those 8 are going to be jam-packed, and I've got my fingers crossed that you're right, Jaren, and that all of these kind of little things that have been going on all season are going to kind of finally mesh together and make sense, which I have a feeling they are. I mean, the writers have been fantastic so far, so
yeah,
I'm going to hang in there with them. I mean, there's definitely been some shocking moments this season. I mean, Langston kills her husband. I mean, I was not expecting that. I kind of guessed some of the stuff about Mama Pope. I figured she was going to be a bad guy. But and I guess we still technically don't know that. If she still is, or what the real deal is, but I figured there was more to her. But Sally Langston definitely surprised me.
That was fun. I don't know. I like when characters kill their character. Oh, I feel horrible. Everybody was mad at me because in my Scandal Chat I was like I'm not happy with Huck. I was uncomfortable with it, and they were like, well, Quinn, just own, she wants her back on Olivia and all this stuff, and I was like, but Olivia is the reason why she's even in the situation that she's in the first place. So, just because Olivia saved her from an issue that she created doesn't necessarily mean... I mean, and also I don't think that Quinn meant to go back on Olivia for anything. And I don't think she meant to go against Olivia. I think she just got caught up, and Huck wasn't being responsible. He created a robot and then just let it go and was like, oh, well, I have my own issues to deal with, so good luck with yours. That I kind of, he included her into a world and then was like, oh, good luck finding your way, but don't kill anyone and don't torture anyone. But good luck, because now you have the tools to do so.
Quinn is not about that life. She thinks that she is. But she has no clue what she's doing and who she's doing it with. And she's trying to react to everything after it's already happened. Like, she doesn't know how to see something coming. That's right. And she's too trusting.
Yeah.
Still.
Oh. Well, she's like a baby, and then I feel like I'm more mad at Huck than I am at Quinn, just because I feel like Huck is responsible for it. Like, I feel like Huck, you know, I understand, like, why he got caught up with Jake and, like, trying to figure out Rowan and all that stuff, but I was just kind of like, you can't, he told her to leave it alone, but, like, you can't just say leave it alone. Like, you have to make sure, like, and then also her, like, saying, but I was annoyed when she was like, well, I'm doing it just because I can. Like, you're in your 30s. You should know better that doing it just because you can is not, a reasonable justification. So, but I feel like I was more upset with Huck.
Yeah, me too. Like, I feel like the whole bit where he was like, where he tortured her, like, that just pissed me off, I'm going to be honest. Because I felt like his character just took, like, 20 steps back. And I get that, they're doing that whole kind of Huck is backsliding because of Olivia's dad thing. But I just was so annoyed by that because it just felt like, really, Huck? Like, if there's anybody that he should have made connection with at OPA, it was her. And I get that he's doing his whole protect Olivia thing, but I just didn't like it, so I was annoyed by it. So here's hoping that something else happens there, because at this point, he's kind of created a monster, at least. It's kind of like, what's going to happen with Quinn? Is she really going to be a part of B613, or is she trying to kind of be the inside man? I'll be interested to kind of see what happens with her. What do you guys think about Mama Pope? Where do you think that's going?
I liked her. I liked her until she told Olivia off about her life. Like, I was like, yeah, I agree with you that Olivia Pope doesn't smile a lot, doesn't have a fantastic personal life, but, like, you weren't there, so, like, why are you going to come and make a comment about this person's? Because for me, like, although she is her mother, she's really not her mom. Like, she, biologically, yes, and she raised her for 12 years, but, like, she disappeared for, 20 years. Mm-hmm. So you don't really know this person, and so you can't input yourself into her life and say, well, and I was dreaming about you having, a family and Sam and all this, like, stuff, and I was just kind of like, that's unfair to put that on her, because she, you weren't there, and you weren't there to influence her, and then to be like, well, you're like your father. Well, if you knew Olivia, you would never have said that, because that is like, that's the thing that she hates the most. Like, she never would want to be her father. So, for me, it's like, I don't really look at it as like a daughter-mother relationship, although it is, and I think they both are trying to perceive it in that way, because they have to relearn each other. So it's, it's a new relationship. So I think that that makes it more interesting, and I think that, like, Olivia, I think learning about her mother has helped Olivia heal in a way of understanding her father, therefore understanding herself better, and kind of allowing, that acceptance that, okay, I am like my father, and maybe it's not such a horrible thing, and, there's more things that I don't know, and maybe I should, be more accepting of those things. So,
yeah.
I
think just based on seeing her parents, we get why she's so screwed up, because
oh, yeah.
Her parents are both just kind of like a little off their
and it's kind of hard
I'm kind of interested
about your mother.
What's up with her mother?
I'm sorry. I think there's a lag here on my end. But, I was going to say, like, it's hard to learn about your mother when she's killing people or, like, crashing planes and showing up randomly with a cell phone calling you outside the White House. Like, that, I don't want to learn about you stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just send me an email and leave me alone. Like, she's just really scary to me.
Yeah. But I think, like Abby said, she's not like what she was just trading
I'm just
information,
afraid
so she's not this
to know
horrible
what
person.
her end game is.
Yeah.
I think she definitely has a plan.
Mhm. And I think, and
I
she
loved when
knows
Abby
Olivia's
hugged.
capabilities. Huh?
I loved when
guess
Abby hugged Olivia.
Mhm.
That was so cute. We need more of that.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes, that was great.
Yes. But
We
I
need more
think
Abby and Olivia time.
yes. Because
Okay, what
and
do you
this
guys
is
think about? What were you gonna say?
oh, I was just gonna say that like that's like one of the things that annoys me about Olivia is that she doesn't have any girlfriends.
Sharon.
And
Oh.
so because because
Wow.
like I feel like I don't know one woman who doesn't at least have one girlfriend that they like can vent to because like you need estrogen to like and she lives in a very she works in a very male dominated area, so like I just like when her and Abby interact it just makes me happy because I'm like, oh my gosh, I mean I know you don't tell her your life, but at least she knows that you need a hug every once in a while.
Mhm.
So
Yeah. I love it too because you get that Abby knows that she almost has to force Olivia to do that, and Abby's the one to do that. She will.
Yeah.
She will do it. She will tell her. I loved that bit before they realized that Olivia's mom was bad. When she tells her like that, you go hug your mother right now. Like you haven't seen your mother. I thought that was so great.
yes. Yes.
So what about Papa Pope, you guys? Because obviously things are really getting ready to change for him because now Jake is command. Okay. And so Papa Pope doesn't have a job or any power anymore, but I don't know what that means for him. I think I'll be definitely interested to kind of see what's going to happen to his character.
Well, yeah, because I mean, especially like when they're like you're forced to retire in a day, like people in general don't do well with retirement, so like to be forced in a day, and then also like I think, and then also like when you've worked your entire life and for something and you finally achieve it and then just like in a day it's like stripped from you, that's really hard to deal with. But I like how they made him out to be like this horrible person and Olivia's like so scared of him, and you get that like he's not a good father, like he's really not. But there's humility and you realize that he is human, like whenever she comes to him and is like she fooled you like she fooled me, and there's that point where they both understand each other's humility and they're like, okay, you did love her so much that you believed her lies. So it's kind of realizing like that underneath that hard cover there is mushy surface, there is mushiness, and I think that's always fun because I don't know. And I think because, like, I have a great relationship with my father, I'm like, I want everyone else to have a great relationship with their father, but it doesn't always happen like that. So, but I definitely like him becoming more, or Olivia becoming more aware that he has a mushy sinner sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of feel like the only reason why their relationship got better, and I'm referring to Olivia and Papa Pope, is because Mama Pope escaped and went crazy. Like he didn't drop a dime on Mama Pope and just give Olivia a warning like, hey, your mama's on the loose and she's crazy. Like, Olivia kind of had to figure that out herself and say, okay, well, maybe all this time I've kind of misunderstood my father and like the crazy that he's been hiding from me. So, but yeah, he had some amazing scenes leading up to Jake becoming command. I mean, he's my favorite character all season so far.
He's been. Yes. I mean, the best one was with him and Fitz, man, when they were at that little bunker room.
God.
And he basically told Fitz that he was a boy.
So good.
That's a great scene. I was just sitting there like, oh, I can't believe this is awesome.
Definitely.
Well, that's called a read. That's what that was. I mean,
exactly what that was.
Papa Pup got fit all the way together. He said, look, just in case you didn't know, here's what I think about you. It was so bad.
It's interesting, I think, where he could go because, like you were saying, it's kind of like because of Olivia's mom coming, you know, once we really kind of saw, oh my gosh, her mom was really kind of the bad guy to some degree. Now that kind of redeems him a little bit. Although obviously, I feel like he's still done some crappy crap. You know, even when Mom was the way she was, he's still done some stuff that was just like, what is wrong with you? And obviously was drunk with power. So I definitely will be interested in, and I would agree with you too, Courtney. He's been one of my favorite characters this season so far. I just feel like they've done such a great job with him. Plus, I love the actor Joe Morton. He was on one of my favorite shows, Eureka, on the Sci-Fi Channel. I'm such a nerd. But I loved him on that show, and he was like the complete and total opposite of Pablo Pope on that show.
Aw. That's exciting.
Him. Let's talk about Cyrus and James, you guys. Because obviously, obviously he had the big, you guys, I spent a week kind of wondering to myself, like, when they had the whole, first of all, we know that Cyrus basically pimped his husband out so he could get some pictures of the vice president's husband. And then when his husband basically went and slept with the guy, because I was seriously, like, thinking to myself, he didn't sleep with him. Did he sleep with him?
I know, that's what I thought.
I thought it was a joke. Like, I thought James was pretending, like, told him, like, take off your shirt, and, like, we'll pretend like we're humping. Like, I thought that's what was going on. I thought it was a facade, but it was for reals.
But it was for reals.
So disappointed in James. I was so disappointed.
Oh, I like, for me, like, I understand where James comes from, but, like, what James doesn't understand in that moment is that, like, doing that act is going to hurt him more than it hurts anyone else, just because, you know what I mean? Like, doing something out of animosity is not in any way healthy, and it doesn't, you know, and although it did hurt Cyrus, James James isn't proud of himself either. Like, he's not like, yeah, I, like, slept with somebody else. He's like, you know. But at the same time, when is Cyrus ever going to learn? Like, when is Cyrus going to actually realize that, you know, the way he has been acting isn't okay? And I don't think that
got that, though. I mean, like, because there was a part of me in that moment when he realized. I mean, he was devastated, and I think he kind of do you think he realized, hey, I kind of made my own bed here? Like, I was the one who created this problem.
I think he recognizes it, but I think he would still do it again if it got him those pictures. Like, I feel like that's who he is. Like, he will choose the presidency over anything, and that's who he is. Like, I mean, and I think now, though, he doesn't have as much vigor. Like, he doesn't want it as much. Like, before, he wanted it with everything he has, and he justified everything he did, no matter how horrible it was, because he loved what he was doing. And I think now it's more like, okay, well, I'm expected to be this way, so I will be that, even though my heart isn't in it. So I feel like he would do it again, but I don't feel like he's in that place where he would, you know, outrightly be like, yeah, Melly, totally fine, totally cool with it. Now he'd be like, oh, okay. All right, sure.
I thought it was interesting too, that moment when at the end when you get that Cyrus, when he kind of confronts him, when Cyrus confronts James, and the two of them have this big old blowout type of thing, and James does the thing he always does: I'm going to take the baby and I'm going to leave. And Cyrus even tells him, like, no, you're not. Like, come on. And it was just kind of like,
I know, but
maybe they deserve each other. You know?
But I mean, yeah.
No, I really cared for Cyrus ever since he almost had James killed.
Yeah.
And, you know, for y'all who don't know, James is my heart, my body, and my soul. I love that man. And I don't want anything to happen to him. But, you know, like I said, I was really disappointed with James with what he did. But my favorite scene is when Cyrus told Melly something about, oh, no, Melly, my husband is not your husband. Like, he was referring to Fitz cheating. And then the stuff rolls out with James, and I was like, Cyrus, take that back. So this was just a whole...
But it's different. But it is different because
it is. But I just wanted to stick to
with
Cyrus.
Billy, so yeah, Cyrus, yeah.
But you know, he doesn't.
He
doesn't see what he did wrong. Like, he's just focused on, you know, James. This is what you did to me. You know, how could you? and he doesn't see everything that he's rolled out over the past couple of seasons.
Definitely.
Yeah. Okay, you guys, I'm gonna read some of the stuff that people have been commenting on. We know that there's somebody made the mention that there's a little delay, and we're not sure why that is. So sorry, people. Sorry about that. We're not sure. Welcome to Google Hangouts. But I'm gonna read some of the comments. Gladiator in Harlem was watching. Hi. She says, back when we were talking about Olivia needing a friend, she says, I agree that Liv needs a friend. Stat. Abby is doing her best, but not quite what Olivia needs.
No.
And let's see. She also says, I used to think that Rowan was the devil, but I'm not so sure now because of Mama Pope. Maybe that makes him a little less of a devil. He's no angel, but he's definitely not what I first thought. And she's got a question. This is a good question. Do you guys think that Rowan knew Fitz as a kid via B613?
Oh.
No, because I don't think Rowan was in that position yet. We don't know how long Rowan has been in that position.
That's true.
Also, what did you guys think about? She asked, what do you guys think about what Fitz said to Rowan about Olivia? Remember during the whole big showdown that they had?
No good.
I can't remember exactly what he said to him.
She tastes delicious.
Yeah, he said something kind of like,
she tastes delicious, and I have sex with her wherever I possibly can because I can.
What did you?
It was inappropriate and wrong and should never happen again. And I was just like, that's so I understand why he did it. There's an understanding of like why he did it, but no, that's not okay. Like, do not use your woman to get to her father. Like, no. Like, talk about how your dick is special and bedazzled. That's fine, but don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, talk about yourself, but do not talk about like his daughter. That's disgusting. Don't do that. No. Mm-mm.
Yeah, I did think that was a little below the belt on Fitz's part. I think that's it. There's a couple of people watching. She Slims, I think is what the username is. Gladiator in Harlem. Tangela says hello. Her kids are still up, so she's still working hard at being a mom, so we probably won't see her. But hi, Tangela. I'm trying to think what else has been going on, you guys.
Olivia.
Let's talk about Olivia, I guess.
Can I?
We haven't talked about that. Obviously, one of the best Olits episodes was the Vermont is for Lovers episode.
Oh, yeah.
The house, which was beautiful. Jaren, are you okay?
No.
You didn't like that episode?
I hated the episode. I hated it. Passion. I tried to. I didn't even make a video on it because of how much I disliked it. So I went back to rewatch it to do it over the break, and I watched it again, and I was so livid. I literally was like, I can never make this video.
Hey.
Bye.
Bye. Oh, look, Crusher's joining us.
Man,
I see your picture.
I feel like I ain't seen you since 1955.
I know.
1955.
I wasn't alive then.
It's been forever.
I'm gonna go grab my headphones real quick. I'll be right back.
Okay.
I got like all kinds
Jaren,
of
why
things
didn't you
happening
like
right
it?
now.
Yeah, Jerry, you better go off, girl.
Yeah, I need to
off.
get
Because
I didn't like that either.
look. Okay, first of all, the first thing he says is that you're full of all these
Be
little
right
secrets.
back.
Okay, first of all,
Okay.
you Fitzgerald are full of all little secrets because you haven't even told her that you put her name out in the media. You killed Verna. You killed her mother. Okay, killed her mother. So and then you're like gonna go and tell her that she has dirty little secrets because her dad is part of this B613 thing, and he's not even really her dad because he was never really there. He just paid for stuff. And then you have time to make her a house, but you don't have time to bring up divorce papers and make your wife sign them? Really? Like, that is so inappropriate and so wrong. And then to be like, here's your house.
That annoyed me the most.
And then I want to choke him. I really wanted to choke him.
Behavior. And then he's like, oh, honey, here's this house. And then she's like, oh, this is so to work with you. You're not just going to present this house to me and then everything's going to be fine. Like, I was really upset, especially after we had season 2 where Olivia's like, earn me. And then he's not doing it and she's still just laying it out for him. I was really upset with the house thing. And I know people loved it, but I didn't love it.
I didn't either, and it's not like
that. I mean, I just
no.
Well, you know what? Like,
I mean, it's sweet. Like in the moment,
that it was a
I
nice
think in the moment,
because
it's beautiful. It's a beautiful moment.
But you know,
at the same time,
like the way that he presented that house, it was the wrong timing. It was just the wrong time to do that.
Yeah, and I get it. It was a beautiful moment, but if you think about it, the entire context of the situation, it just was like, that's like you have time to build this beautiful house that you put so like you literally are talking about stained glass windows. You're talking about the bricks. You're talking about what kind of wood it was made with. So you in all of this effort to make this beautiful home for her, yet you can't live in this home with her. So what is the point of building this home? Like, I get it, it's your dream, but if you can't live your dream, why are you going to spend, millions of dollars to build a dream?
It was like
if you can't even live that dream.
It felt
like it was like he's dangling that in front of her to kind of keep her where he wants her.
Yeah.
And I believe like they're meant to be together. Like I want them to be together, but I'm just kind of like there is so much more to work out besides building a house.
Oh well.
So get your priorities straight. Yes, like and
well, the fact that let's talk about the fact that they're in this relationship, but they're not in a real relationship. I mean, they don't really spend time together. They just have these kind of rendezvous moments that are just full of emotion and this and that. But it's
and they
not
don't
like
talk. Yeah. They don't, and I feel like they like when they talk, they don't like. I'm a person who, in my mind, like people have long conversations. Like a person that if I have a conversation with you, it's probably like going to be an hour. And they like talk for like 5 minutes and then they make out for the rest of the time. And I'm like, no, like have a sit down conversation, actually talk about things that are important. Like, I mean, and not everyone needs to talk, so I guess it's just that's not necessarily generalized. But I feel like it needs to be longer than a 2-minute conversation of yelling back and forth and then you saying, well, this is our house, and then her like making out with you. Like,
yeah,
it's just not.
So
and sometimes I feel like when they're talking, both of them have something that they want to say, but they're very stunted with their responses to each other.
Yeah.
And it seems like they kind of want to let their guard down and just say, look, here's everything. But, like you said, they're not really in a real relationship, so I guess they feel like they just can't lay it all out on the table, and so they just have these really short conversations here and there, and they act like it means something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I feel like they act like...
Write Shonda Rhimes a letter and tell her that she needs to write an episode where they get trapped in an elevator for a whole hour, and it's just the two of them talking for an hour. I would just love that. I mean, like if they had a real conversation about their relationship.
And no sex on the elevator either.
Yes.
On the elevator. I'm going to read some of the comments that people are leaving. EAS82 says, preach, Jaren, because she really agrees with you, apparently. She Slim says, Jaren, don't hold back. And EAS82 also said, isn't that what cheating rich men do? Don't they buy you a house or a Coach purse or something?
Well, he's not supposed to be the cheating rich man. He's supposed to be the loving lover, but he's like not turning out to be. And I'm just like, I like him less and less. Like I'm glad he loves Olivia, but like less and less do I like him as a person. So
I know it's like something needs to happen now, and of course they keep kind of inventing ways for the two of them to kind of be separated, and I know that part of that is just because that's kind of the spiel of the show is, the two of them trying to figure out how to be together. It does. I mean, they're definitely going to have to do something about that, to kind of. I don't know. Like,
and then like for her to go because she's going to be on the campaign now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she's going to be, so, like, I just feel like that's going to be more awkward because Melly now is, like, on the ends. Everyone knows, like, besides lots of, Cyrus and Melly know, but, like, that's just awkward. So, like, how are you going to, I know they can be, like, they can be a team and actually work and not have sex. But like, I just feel like that's just weird because Melly is gonna want a certain type of relationship. Will want them to have a certain type of relationship and it's not gonna be what she wants.
Yeah.
So then Melly's wanting something that isn't going to happen because she doesn't feel like she's in control of it, and then it's just going to get disruptive again. Or maybe Melly will fall in line. I don't know, but I just feel like her being on that campaign again is just I feel like her being on the campaign just muddles everything again. Like, it just makes the water more murky. Like, in the whole, like, white hat thing, I'm like, they need to throw that away because that hat has never been white and will never be white ever again, no matter how many times you wash it. Like, it just won't. So, they need to stop.
Trisha, are you set? Are you with us, my dear?
I am here.
Woohoo!
I'm
Trisha's here. What are your thoughts on, what are you thinking? Throw something out there.
Well, I was listening to what you were speaking on, and I definitely agree with you, Jaren, on the fact that the whole white hat thing is out the window. I mean, I realize that that's the armor, but Olivia hasn't been seen in that light for a long time, and I'm not talking about the affair. I'm talking about about the gladiating. Yeah. The fact that Shonda has pretty much killed that the premise of why Olivia Pope even exists as the fixer. She's not fixing anything, and she hasn't fixed anything literally, I think, since the second half of season 2. So I've had a real problem with that. I mean there's a couple of things. It's like, at this point I think gladiators are done with the whole how many times can you hear Millie call Olivia a whore?
Yeah, I didn't like that.
And I get it. And I totally get it. I totally get it. But we're over that now. I'm anxious to see where she's taking this as far as is Millie now becoming the fixer and how she's supposed to fix Olivia when she doesn't even know half the story.
Yeah.
So I guess a couple other things that's really kind of, I guess, bothered me, and I'm hoping that comes along, is that, poor Harrison, is he even going to be part of the story? Is he only going to have, 2 words? I mean, Abby has more language, and I feel she doesn't even have a purpose herself. What, she's just there to be with David Rosen, who shows up every couple of episodes?
Right.
I'm confused. So those are just kind of the things that bother me. I feel like Harrison's storyline
is getting ready to, hopefully, the whole Adnan Salif
thing blow up.
It's getting ready to kind of take, I'm hoping for the rest of the season, like, take a big kind of part in all of that.
I hope so, because he is terrified of this guy.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to jump on that plane with Mama Pope.
It was a woman. I thought it was him.
It might be.
I thought it was a woman.
Is it a guy or is it a girl?
I don't know that yet.
I thought it was a girl.
That's a really good point.
That's a good point.
Could be a woman.
Well, the new gal that they have coming in that doesn't have, necessarily a purpose at this point, it's the gal from Homeland, and I can't remember her name right off the top of my head, but it seems to be alluding that she's going to be this Anon, so.
Oh, wow.
Interesting.
Yeah. And then the other thing that, there's so many questions we still don't know. Like, have we even, and I apologize, I'm tardy, but have we discussed the whole rape scene with Millie and that whole
No,
stuff?
We were going to talk about that.
Okay, well, I'll wait till you introduce it because I have some issues with that, because that really didn't solve anything. That didn't solve anything. We know nothing more as to what the actual physical problem is that made Millie and Fitz relationship dissolve. We have no idea still.
Mm-hmm.
I think part of it, I think it gave light to. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say. Don't you feel like that? I felt like first of all, that scene was just raw and just like tough. I just remember I was sitting there thinking like, there's no way this is about to happen. Somebody's going to walk in and help her. And then it doesn't happen. And you just think like, I just felt like they did, I hate to even see that, but I felt like they did a good job of portraying the fact that, you know what, that happens to women and it sucks and here you go.
But if you're going to use that context, and if you're going to use a subject matter that is so raw, what was the purpose of that? Was it,
But don't you feel like, I feel like it told me a lot about her, and not saying that this is why Mellie is how she is. I don't think that's necessarily the case, but I definitely think that shows a lot of what happened in Fitz's relationship. That here's this thing that happened, and don't you think that that's probably definitely caused her a lot of issues? And then, I mean, he obviously doesn't know that happened.
Yes,
and then there's the thought that this child, one of their kids, is probably his dad, which is just
and it
crazy.
alludes to that. But my problem with that is that now that that's out, I'm reacting to the next day, because that's all we have to deal with is the way that she treated. The way that she treated, Big Jerry the next day, and then in the episode, you remember that whole episode? I can't remember when Big Jerry's episode, when he came back, and how she greeted him and held him, and like she was coddling Jerry like, oh, he was this big hero and she loved him, and I have a problem with that. It doesn't seem that there's a continuity in that.
Because they didn't. I mean, because that was the season before. Part of me wonders if they just didn't know what they were going to do, and then they figured that storyline out for season 3. But then it's like, hey, we already kind of bombed this, but they just went with it anyway, I guess.
But I think that we know. Yes. But I think that we know that Mellie is a person who hides her true self. Like, she's not ever going to be. We're never going to know the real Mellie. And so I think that this really shows that Mellie, it made me uncomfortable the next day when she came up, because, like, whenever when we talk about rape and we talk about, victims, we don't think of them taking that situation and controlling it. We think of them being the victim, and either their life is destroyed, or they have some type of, they can't function right, or, whatever it was, and or whatever it is. So I think that it makes us uncomfortable because we don't really see that story being told very often, because and I think that might happen very often, that women are raped and they go on the next day and they pretend like it doesn't happen, because that's how they cope, and it's not necessarily a healthy way to cope. But do I think that was it used for sympathy in a way? Yes, but I think that it's very plausible that happened, and she turned it against him so that she could get Fitz to where she believed he wanted to be. And I think that, and then that first lie is what was the first straw on the camel's back that deteriorated their relationship, because when she can't be honest with him and tell him everything that has happened to her, or say like, hey, like, this is what happened, that leads to the deterioration of the relationship. And then her knowing that his son is not, maybe his, also leads to her putting on a facade.
I think that's more of a piece, because I don't see Fitz as a character, particularly the way that, the only example that we have is the way that he loves Olivia. So to love her through her sleeping with someone else, the fact that, that they're not together, the fact that her father was, B613, the kind of person that he is, I don't see him not loving Millie through, and not him being angry, with his father. Obviously, that being a reason why they have also a detached relationship.
Yeah.
But I don't see that as the end all to be all. I just don't see that as really the caveat that destroyed their relationship. It has to be something else.
I don't think it is either. I just don't think we've seen that yet. I think that's a part of it, of the puzzle, but I just don't think we've actually seen what that was.
I agree.
But I do think that probably playing a role, even if that was just on her end and he doesn't realize what the heck is going on. I think for her that probably definitely changed things. I definitely, like, I feel like she's such a complex character. It seems like they're
taking their time fleshing out Mellie's character. Like, we didn't get all of Mellie's character in season 1. It's been continuous.
Yeah.
So, maybe season 4 we'll learn what it was that really destroyed Mellie and Fitz.
Yeah.
I would really love for a gladiator. I would really love for some, maybe we have like a panel of gladiators that can just sit with the scandal writers and be like, oh no, you can't say that, because remember when this happened? Because we have some smart viewers. We have some smart gladiators that know their stuff, and we remember stuff. We remember inflections. We remember, pitch and voice. I mean, everything. Who they talked to, how they said it, which way they did it. So yeah. I got issues, and
That is so funny.
I also have an issue with the fact that Millie, the way that she kind of flip flops, or I don't know if this was the way that she's dealing with all of this, but the way that she flip flops and wanting Olivia in proximity to Fitz. 1 minute she's rolling out the red carpet, and then in the next minute she wants to call her a whore and a home wrecker. I was just rewatching that episode with where Olivia, supposedly she had the choice to either work on the Marcus campaign or she was going to work with the White House.
Yeah.
And Olivia was going to the White House to ask Fitz about Operation Remington, but they thought that she was coming because she was going to come to work on the campaign. And I remembered how Millie goes, at the when she came into the office, she goes, "Oh, Olivia," and then she Olivia says, "I need a moment alone with you or to speak with you," and she said, "Of course," and she kind of rolled out her hands to him like this, like to introduce, "Here he is, take him," like that. You know what I mean? So, and then the next minute she's ready to call him a whore. So.
I just feel like that shows you how calculated Mellie is and how much power really means to her. Like, to me, she wants to call Olivia a whore, but at the same time, she'll let her right on in as long as that's going to mean that Mellie's going to be able to maintain the level of power that she wants. I feel like she would kind of sacrifice anything for that, which I think says a lot about her as well. The fact that even remember the scene where she goes to Olivia and basically tells her, like, we need you to come back, like, we need.
Yeah, it's like her want for power, and then her emotions are clashing together. Like at one point maybe she can suppress her emotions and then have Olivia come in for the greater good, but then her emotions take over and she's like, wait a minute, that's my husband.
Yeah.
No, she utilizes their relationship to her advantage, and so does Cyrus. So everyone who knows about their relationship uses it to their advantage. Rowan has used it to his advantage. Jake has used it to his advantage. So I think that another weird aspect of the show is that their relationship is abused a lot, and because people know how much they love each other and understand that, and so they abuse it and to their advantage. And then when it doesn't work out in their advantage, then they throw a fit and they say, well, that's not okay. You shouldn't act like that. Don't touch my husband. She's a whore. So I think
I need a scene where Olivia takes that back. I mean, there needs to be a scene.
Hopefully, whenever Mellie takes her out for lunch or whatever, that happens. But I
don't played out for the paparazzi. I don't think so, but maybe.
I don't
know. I know.
But I think hopefully. But I think that but I don't think Olivia, because of the way Olivia feels, like whenever Fitz got shot and Mellie was like, "What would you do if he died?" and Olivia was like, "Please do your job and I'm going to do mine." So I think that's the most that Olivia will ever do to Mellie, just because Olivia has that moral understanding that I'm doing something wrong to this woman. So I think because of her guilt, she won't ever really be able to go off on Mellie. Like, I personally would have gone off on Mellie way long ago.
Remember, she did actually say something to her in that scene when the three of them are in the bunker.
Yes.
Right. And she basically says, "I'm going to need you to stop calling me a whore right now," or something like that. I mean, she did kind of
in front of my face.
Yeah, in front of my face.
She did. I mean, but I need a scene. I need a scene where it's spelled out. Okay, look, I realized that this is not the way that this is not what I wanted to be. I left. I tried to leave. I tried to go. For them to hash that out, they need to come to an understanding.
Yeah.
So it's either
they have to create boundaries.
It's like either you let him go. Or you let me go. What is it? Or you let us be together. Make up your damn mind. There needs to
Make up your
mind. Make up your damn mind.
Mellie needs to leave. The fact that she's still there annoys me.
What do you guys think? Let's talk predictions in the last like 15 minutes that we have. What do you guys think, or what do you want to see come for the rest of the season? There's only 8 episodes left. I will say I'm really excited about the fact that they are going to be back to back to back, no more breaks. Thank goodness.
Okay, that's good.
But what do you guys think?
Oh, can we talk about Sally real quick? And the fact that Sally is going to run on her own. And I just have to say, I'm so proud of Sally for doing that, because I was
Was that what her
annoyed
husband-
because when Fitz like yelled at hello,
Are you there? I hear you.
Are you there?
yeah, are you there?
You're proud of her
We
for
got
what?
you.
Okay, huh?
You're proud of her for what?
Oh, for like stepping up to Fitz because like when he yelled at her, for like going off on her own, I was so upset with him because I was just kind of like, you told her at the beginning of the season, look, like if you if you see an opening, take it.
Take it.
Like that was your plan, and now because he decided to do what you told her to do, and but now you've changed your plans and you didn't tell her about changing your plans, now you're going to be upset with her and you're going to yell at her and be rude to her. No, like that's not okay. So, I mean, I don't think what she did to her husband was okay, and I think that her, like, the fact that her campaign manager was like, I am the first person you call if you kill somebody. I'm like, how many people do you happen?
Yeah, but
You know,
but
like,
Darren, I think
make sure
I think
you have-
that I think that went out the window though because they had come to an understanding that she was going to be the running mate. So you know she was going to stand by his side, and when it was done, he was going to endorse her for president. So for in 4 years' time. So he had that
But I don't
understanding. But I mean, but
I don't know. I feel like Fitz is just as backstabbing though. Like he would run over Sally if he needed to. So I just feel like it's the political
they're
arena.
all capable. That's
Yeah.
the
I
one
think
thing we've
it's
all
funny
learned
that
is that
both the
they're all
vice
capable.
president and the president have killed people.
They've now
Let's just
killed
go
people.
with the cabinet is next. I mean, it's like
Yeah, but that is messed up because I mean Sally's deal. I mean, literally that whole circle with her killing Daniel Douglas. And may I just put out there because I put this out on Facebook today. I still see Daniel Douglas as Stephen Carrington from Dynasty. I'm sorry, it wasn't Stephen. Every time I see him, I'm like that's Stephen from Dynasty. But anyway, I digress. But everybody's tied into that because now Quinn knows, right? That obviously that she killed, and now she's B613 taking instructions from Jake. Jake knows that he's dead. You know,
Hey,
I mean,
everyone
knows.
Jake.
That's true.
I mean, it's like 6 degrees of separation. Everybody knows.
But, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But and then David knows, but Cyrus is also attached to it. So then the Grant administration in general could go down, and then But with Jake being
that part.
Yeah.
But Jake being B613, I'm not very happy about. He annoys me. I really just want someone to shoot him and kill him, and he
Why
can
did
die.
look?
Because
he is the
he
worst.
has
I don't see that much of a purpose for him this season so far. Like we just see him walking around with a coffee cup and looking at pictures that Hope
Poppy.
handed to him. And I'm just kind of like, what are you doing here? Why are you in the OPA office?
Look, Jake
And he's always
he's
always in Olivia's face. Like one minute he's like,
always.
if the president wants to see you, he's gonna see you. And the next thing, I love you, I love you, I love you. Or like I won't come second best even to the president. Well, stop being a girl and move on with your life.
I know
Like,
he is
just
the worst.
Oh,
And he is the worst spy ever. He's like the worst
he really
spy
is.
ever.
He's gonna
Well,
B613 is gonna go
So
under
you be careful what you
complete,
say, or he'll send somebody from
crazy.
B613 out.
I'm
to
telling
get
you
all
right
of it.
now, Jake is now head of B613. That's not even going to be a covert. That's not even going to be a covert organization anymore.
No.
Well,
Everybody's gonna know.
What is he going to do?
Everybody's gonna know.
Come on.
Mhm.
He's gonna run.
Yeah.
He's gonna run a nicer.
And he
job.
probably has business cards that he's handing out. Jake, B13, here you go. Like he's just ridiculous. I really tried to like Jake. I gave it my best shot.
I did
Couldn't
too.
do it.
As far as I'm concerned, they can bring Puddin back just to make Poppy happy. Go ahead and bring Puddin.
No! Oh, never! No!
No.
That says I hate Edison.
No. I
my
swear,
God,
I would just
baby.
go into like a little mini seizure if I ever see him again.
Where was this?
We ran Edison out of here.
We sure did.
Ugh.
Yo, look.
Edison.
Oh, poor Puddin.
Dude, I was doing layups.
No, but I feel like Quinn's gonna get stuck, and then, I just don't. I I feel, and like, I don't know why she's at B613 now. Like, I get it because she's with Charlie, but like, if Jake and Fitz's plan is to deteriorate B613, why are you taking on new recruits? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. So
they don't know.
It was more so that he could control B613. I felt
Correct.
Like.
Correct.
I don't know.
I thought it was that he told Cyrus. He told Cyrus, I want B613 to get, to be rid of. Like, he wanted to get rid of B613.
Yeah,
so that's what I
Cyrus
perceived it to be.
Yeah, but Cyrus made it very clear that you could not get rid of B613. So what's the best thing that you can do is control it. The whole purpose
Jake
for putting
listen?
Yes, to an extent, because the whole purpose for him was putting Rowan in a room. Period, was to get to his hot buttons. He pushed his buttons so that he could get, to see what it was, so that he could control the situation. That was what all that was about. So the fact that now Jake is B613, technically, well, supposedly, B613 is supposed to be outside of that, but now, I mean, Fitz put him in that position. It's kind of like, you kind of owe me one kind of thing, Yeah. Their friendship and the fact that he's still the leader of the free world, that gives him clout. So I don't know what's going to happen in that regard. And whatever happened to Thorngate?
Whatever happened to what?
Thorngate. I have a feeling this is going to somehow come back to Thorngate.
What was Thorngate? Remind me what that was.
That'd be cool. Whenever they listen to everyone.
And they know that Olivia was talking to Fitz for the late night phone calls.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe that'll probably show back up, I'm sure, just because.
I just don't understand how this administration can go forward with all of its secrets. Like, literally, I'm just kind of like
well, because
he's killed somebody.
Isn't the phone call, the fact that David Rosen has the phone call between Cyrus and the vice president, wasn't that because of Thorngate?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Oh, I guess maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
I want to read some of the questions that people are asking. Gladiator in Harlem says, I love the show, but I'm concerned about longevity. How many seasons do you feel that this show can really last and keep viewers?
About 2 more.
Before it jumps the shark.
2 more. Yeah. 2 more.
Maybe 2 more?
Yeah, because
Shonda was saying that the longevity of it wasn't going to be very long.
Well,
I don't want to see all this back and forth going on for like 5 more seasons. I really want Shonda and her crew to come up with like a really solid ending.
Yeah.
And then just kind of let it be.
Courtney, I think we can go with 1 more episode. 1 more episode with that.
I feel like they deteriorated Olivia. Like, she's like, all of her skeletons in her closet are all out. Yeah. And so I need them now to like find a way for her to make herself healthy again and show us that she can be a healthy individual who learns how to have attachments with people, and like that there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and that there, like, even after all of this craziness, and you should probably be in a psychiatric facility right now, but you're deciding not to be. I feel like there needs to be some kind of feeling of that she's healed, that she's gonna be that she's healing or in the process of healing.
Right.
You know what? I love her character, and I love kind of the arc that they've got her on, because you get that when the show first started, I mean, she was doing the Olivia Pope strut and let me fix this and get to work and doing her whole thing.
Questioning herself.
And now we kind of see the behind the facade, because obviously the whole kind of one of the big things about her character is here's this woman who portrays that she's got everything together, but then let's look at her personal life, and let's see that she's having an affair with the president, and let's see that she is like the most kind of closed off person ever, and let's see all of these issues. And I feel like all of that's kind of coming to the surface for her. So I'm hoping that we kind of get to see some of her kind of work through that, which would be kind of good, would be really kind of interesting.
Yeah, but I really do miss, though, the ability for her to be able to handle, 3 and 4 things at one time. I mean, her ability to make money is being a fixer, and that element has been taken away. That was a very big draw for a lot of folks for the show. So that element I hope they bring back, because that part, we're missing the fixer Olivia. I understand that we've got to see her fall apart. We've got to understand the story. We know that there's family drama, but I need that fixing element back, or else what's the point? I mean, she's a fixer, but what is she fixing? So
yeah, no, that's a great point. That's a great point.
They had a point where they had trouble getting clients, right?
Right.
And then they got Josie Marcus, but now she's gone. So, like, what are they doing?
How are we making money?
I feel like that's what I feel like the campaign is going to be for. I think the campaign is going to be for her to really get back into that groove of who am I? What do I love to do? This is what I love to do. This is why I like to do it, and I'm good at it. And I think hopefully the campaign will be that for her. Because but like Harrison said to Cyrus, like, you know, Josie Marcus was the first time she really was inspired in a really long time. So I think that hopefully, if she does do the campaign, hopefully it will be good for her and in respect of her job and falling back in love with it. Because I feel like right now she's like at a path where like I do it because I know I'm good at it, but there's no love for it right now.
Yeah, because I feel like I loved seeing that. Like you were saying too, Trisha, I loved seeing those kind of seeing her get to fix different situations, and I love that aspect of the show. I definitely feel like season 3 has been more about what's going on with her personally, and obviously, I mean, you've got the craziness with both of her parents. So, and that, I think that probably is a hard thing for them to balance. You know, to tell, how do we tell her story at the same time that we're, you know, she's also dealing with, you know, work and other things like that. So I hope that they do kind of balance that a little better as we go into the last 8 episodes of the season.
Right, because I find it really hard to believe that there's nobody in DC that needs to be fixed.
Oh, right.
We know a few people who could probably use some Olivia Pope help right now. Okay. Like Chris Christie could use your help, Olivia Pope. Yes. I think that's it, you guys. I was trying to, let me just peek and see if there's any other questions. Kia Lockett asks, do you guys think that Fitz is going to win re-election?
God, I hope so. The show will be over.
I hope he doesn't, because then it'd be more interesting. Because then because now she has to have a new relationship with the White House, or she won't have one at all. So therefore, where is her power going to be pulled from? Because she's powerful herself. So that would be fun to see her be powerful by herself without the White House behind her. So like she'll always have her name. Sorry.
No. I was just going to say, somebody else had asked how many seasons do you think that Scandal can really last? And I think, like what you were saying, Jaren, unless, I mean, something big has to change, basically. So, I mean, that would be a different change, I guess, to see them in different settings. That would be kind of a huge change. I mean, that would definitely.
I would really love to see Shonda and the writers tackle a divorced president, a divorce within the White House, and what that would be like.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that is still a huge, I mean, you know, it's just being so ignored, and, you know, I think it was alluded to, you know, so many times, and, you know, the whole plan and everything, you know, that they came up with, you know, when Fitz read that all out to the hospital, but that is a very, very good line that I would love to see. I mean, I'm sure many others. So, I mean, that can run at least 3 seasons.
Why I don't understand why he built her a house. Stupid boys.
Oh God, we're back to the house. Well, if you remember,
he had the money.
Shot, and when he was recovering, like when he had, you know, he was having that kind of epiphany moment where it was like, you know, look, I almost died. So I'm not going to do this crap anymore. I'm getting a divorce. Right. And you knew that he was serious. And then, of course, a whole bunch of craziness happened. So part of me wishes that Fitz would come back.
I feel like he has an epiphany every 5 episodes, and then like an episode later, he's like J.K. Rowles. I'm just, and for me, it's like if you want a divorce, it has to be for you. It can't be for Olivia. It can't be for, you know, whoever else out there in the world that you would do it for, but it has to be for you. So like if he can't make that decision for himself, even if Olivia Pope says that she's not going to be by his side, I just, like, for me, like, to get a divorce just for somebody else is not, that's not being truthful. Like, you have to get a divorce because you're unhappy in a relationship.
Yeah, but
not because somebody else is waiting for you.
Yeah, but I don't think that is.
Hey, you guys, let's talk about this, like, for real too, because somebody actually asked this question, so I'm gonna go ahead and shout her out. Sharon Duquette, her question was, do you think that they should do a presidential divorce, and do you think that it could work?
Yes. Yep.
Oh my God, it would make my life so much better.
It'd be a lot easier. It'd be so much easier.
Oh my gosh. It made me less mad half the time.
And
Well, it would make me wonder if Olivia, assuming the divorce goes through, how willing would Olivia be to then just kind of jump into what Fitz wants? Because
But for me,
like,
the divorce
you see
isn't
her
about
kind of
Olivia.
engage, then pull back, and you wonder if it's because Melly is there or because Olivia's not ready. But what about if Fitz is available now? Now what's going to happen?
See, there's so many different things that can play off of that very scenario, period. That, you know, first of all, you know, besides Olivia and Fitz, you know, what does Cyrus do now? You know, what's up with that? You know, what happens to, you know, OPA for that matter? How do they react without those connections with the White House now? You know, there's just so many different things and angles that you could go with that.
Yeah.
So, like I said, it's just the way that it's going right now. It's beating a dead horse, and honestly, we're starting to lose some of the edge. I mean, some of the, you know, the Emmy-winning, you know, Golden Globe type of performances and storylines, and you know, and those kinds of things. It's not. I don't know. There's that mystique that seems to be gone now. I mean, if you watch House of Cards right now, killing it.
No spoilers, please, because I'm only on episode 5.
I so am not going to tell you, but I'm just saying.
Of season 2, which so I saw the first episode, which was like, what the hell? I mean, it was crazy.
Yeah, well, we all did. Yeah, but that's a whole nother chat. But
I mean, I see what you're saying, but at the same time, I feel like there have been some really great moments this season. I mean, we were talking earlier about Papa Pope. You know, that scene where he did this was fantastic. Drunk Melly. Let's all remember the drunk.
Oh,
that was excellent. That was
so I feel like there have been some shining moments, but at the same time, I feel like we also really kind of expect a lot from this show. You know, like they really killed it in season 2, and so I feel like when I watch Scandal, I am expecting you to bring it. You know, and so I feel like they've kind of made their jobs a little harder almost themselves because of that, which is a good thing. Because I'm really hoping they do find their stride. You know, and find. I just feel like we'll see in the next 8 episodes. Really, you know, I feel like they're about to turn a corner and knock us out of the park. So fingers crossed that happens.
Do you think we got some more flashbacks?
I don't know. That's a really good question. Because I must say I did enjoy that. I especially loved seeing 80s Cyrus with hair, throwback Cyrus as I call him.
That was the worst
I really
ever.
do. I really like the flashback. So part of me hopes that we do see that.
Well, I think we're gonna have.
But I don't know.
With Harrison's story, I would assume that we would have.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
And of course, now with the kids coming, I mean, that's a whole nother dynamic.
Oh. Yeah, I'm really excited about that, and I'm hoping that I'm really excited to kind of see what happens with that. So yeah. Let me just see if there's any more questions, you guys, and then we'll kind of wrap it up here. Let me see. I'm just going to read some of the comments that people are making. Let's see. Sharon Duquette says, question, do you think the writers are making Fitz look as... I think she's trying to say, do you think the writers are making Fitz look like a bad guy? Because they keep kind of putting a bunch of pressure on him, and he keeps obviously making lots of mistakes. I don't know.
He's not a bad guy. He's just annoying.
Yeah, that's what I feel.
I just want to choke him and be like, okay, if I cut off your air passages for a couple minutes and you come back, like, will you all of a sudden, like, realize life? Because...
But I understand the undertones that she's talking about, because you know you have an episode like 220 where Fitz is, I mean, he's in the zone. You know what he wants. He's going to go after it. He doesn't give a flying poop whatever it is.
Yes.
And then you castrate him. How does that work?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't understand that. I mean,
because he's like one of those people who, like, 1 minute they're like, yes, I'm gonna do this, and then, you know, and then like 5 minutes later they're like on the sofa eating chips or something. Like there's he's a water fountain. He's like a water fountain. He's like, yay, JK lols. So I think that, but I mean, but it's realistic because I'm thinking most of his energy comes from Olivia. So like, if he feels like Olivia's pulling away for like a stupid reason that he doesn't think that is applicable, then he's like, I'm gonna get you. But then if she pulls away for a reason, he's like, because like with the Verna, you know, like, well, I killed Verna, so now you don't love me. So then that's reflective of shame, and therefore he's like, well, I'm not deserving of her love right now, so I'm going to let her go, even though it hurts me.
So like that too. I mean, like I think Olivia, he draws that energy from her, but at the same time, it's like he's the kind of person who does that from all of the people around him. I mean,
agree.
I think the reason he's president is because his father and pushed him, and Melly pushed him, and Cyrus was there, and it's like I feel like there's a part of Fitz that needs to develop into the point where Fitz really does the things that he wants to do and becomes his own man.
And
so
I'm
kind of excited
definitely interested in seeing that, for sure.
Yeah, I really do hope we get to see that. Let me read some of the other comments before we go. Elizabeth Brown, which makes a fantastic comment, speaking of House of Cards, she says that if they wrote Melly as well as they write Claire Underwood, scandal would be off the chain. And one last question, Sharon Duquette asks, do you all think that Olitz will last this season?
If they don't.
It has to. If they don't, everyone will stop watching. Period. Done.
Yeah, I think that's the magical answer. They have to, because that's why we watch, people, because we love Olitz.
Honestly, case in point, Carrie posts the picture. Carrie was there for a fitting. Tony was on set. Just out of the blue on a Friday night, threw a picture of, Tony being director. Twitter and Tumblr went crazy for a weekend. And it wasn't even an OLED scene. It was like in real life, and everybody went crazy. That's what brings the ratings. That's what people are there for. They want that possibility. So it has got. I
think they're gonna last. They have to change. They have to change. Like something has to happen.
Yeah, but I think there's an aspect where, Shonda might not want them to be together just because of what their relationship beholds, and I think that like for me, I'm starting to not like their relationship. I'm starting to there's a part of my brain that understands that yes, when they're together and they work together, they're a great team and they understand each other and they're best friends. But then there's another part of me that's just annoyed by their entire relationship. I'm just you guys are acting like 5-year-olds, and I really need you to grow up real quick and move on with your life. So I think, and so I think, I think that making
but that's
it
the after effect. That's the effect of not being together. That's what, and that's the problem. It's either, step up to the plate and make it happen, and let Fitz get a divorce, or let it go.
But I think it's de-glamorizing it in a good way, because I think it kind of when it first started, there was this glamorous aspect of these two people who love each other, even though they're in situations that are not. Not good, and now it's de-glamorizing it and saying, okay, well, it's maybe this isn't, because that type of relationship I think at times is glamorized, and it shouldn't be, because it's not a healthy relationship necessarily to be in, and it's not it's not a good relationship or a fun relationship to be in. So I think that it's helping de-glamorize that type of relationship and saying, okay, well, this is the extent. Most affairs last 10 years, so think of this happening for 10 years. Yes, on average, an affair lasts for 10 years. So
that's awful.
I had to do a presentation on affairs. It was a study on the Huffington Post.
10 years.
So
10 years.
So
wow.
But how many couples go through the level of drama that Olitz goes through?
Yeah.
In a day. Yeah. But
certainly not the dynamic.
Mama Pope did something crazy. Someone's fighting off Daddy Pope. They always have drama that's bringing them together, and they never have time to just kind of focus on each other.
Exactly.
It's not a real relationship. It's a very heightened relationship where, if they were to go to Vermont.
To my elevator idea, back to Poppy's elevator idea, people.
Yes.
That's where we need to go.
Yes.
Poppy, you've been reading
hour.
fanfic. You've been reading fanfic, because that's happened in a fanfic.
No, has it really?
Yes.
I have a whole discussion in the elevator?
Yes, for almost 2 hours.
We had a discussion in the elevator?
For 2 hours.
I've decided that's what needs to happen.
That's awesome.
Then they'll just get sick of each other and be like, you know what, I don't really like you all that much.
Oh, no.
Okay, you guys. Well, it's been an hour. It's been over an hour. We went over by 12 minutes, so there you go.
12 minutes.
But yay, we talked about Scandal. Woohoo! New episode is coming back next week, and I'm sure everyone here is as excited as I am. Finally. So I'm going to be doing more Scandal chats. So usually probably on Fridays now, every week until the season's over. So
sounds great.
Come and join us again. And I want to thank everybody that's here with me. So Courtney and Sharon and Tresha, and all of their information is below in the description box. You should go check out their YouTube channels, their Twitter accounts. And yeah, you guys, we will see you again very soon.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us.
See you later.
Thank you.
Bye.